Mike, you look fantastic, and I just want to encourage you. I mean, I don't know how you're doing this, but you're like hiking, and you look great, and keep it up.
Thank you.
Mike is somebody I've got a great deal of respect for, and him and Lisa both. We just love these guys as friends. Mike, I love your creativity and the way that you take creativity and then develop with it. Shh. Okay. All right, everybody on your feet. Been sitting a little while. And a super loud Dealmaker welcome for Mr. Michael Hicks.
Thanks, Jim. Appreciate it, guys. Before I get into this talk, I'll tag into that a little bit. Something that I've thought about and pondered on is a Bible verse I read, Proverbs 6:10. A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands, and poverty will come on you like a thief. So not just poverty, but your health, your wealth is coming on you. So, 10 years ago, I was 240 pounds. I was riding my bike 35, 40 miles a day, and I just got comfortable. I quit doing the things that I needed to do and the things that I needed to focus on. And that led to not this, but 105 pounds more than this. So December of last year, I decided that I'd had enough. And I thought, what is one more thing that I can do every day that will get me to where I need to go? And that one thing was to push back from the table a little bit and then get a little more active. So I began riding my bike, hiking, backpacking, kayaking, whatever I could do to not be in a gym. And then keto and intermittent fasting. So since Christmas, 105 pounds. I still have 105 to go to get back to where I'd like to be, but I got a long way to go. So one more thing I want to hit on is something that Adam and Leon Johnson talked about, and I love the way that they're running their business. I don't think they're in here this morning, but the way they're passing deal flow and the trust that they have with their buyers and their brand and everything that they're doing. I love it the way Jimmy Napier said it. You can, let's see, how do you say it? You can shear a sheep many times, but you can only skin it once. So pass that love around and that business will come back to you. I'm going to talk to you today about how to stand out with your short-term rentals. Not only your short-term rentals, but I think this affects your businesses as well. A little bit about me. I came from the construction background. I started building homes, new construction spec homes at 19. I grew up around a developer. I went off to college, realized this wasn't for me. After a semester and a half, I came home and told him I want to build a house. So started figuring out creative financing from a young age. At 19, he said, well, I will front you the lot, create a note, 0% interest. I'll put the lot in your name to where you can go to the bank, borrow the money, and build the house. So I built a house. Didn't make any money, but I built a house. Okay, I learned. I didn't lose any money either, but anyway, we finished the house about the time September 11th hit. The house sat on the market a few months longer than we expected. The interest ate up the profits, and we broke even, but I learned a lot. Fast forward, I added long-term rentals, did a lot of fix and flips, added light commercial warehousing, and then self-storage. And then in 2016, we got into the short-term rental space by converting a duplex that we had built. We enjoyed that so much that I told my wife, I want to build something unique and different. So I built a shipping container home in my office parking lot. And then from there, we figured out, okay, we want to put this in a unique spot and make it a unique travel destination, something that not only will bring someone to the space, but someone to the location as well. So that's how we kind of created our unique short-term rental business. So let's get this going. When you're a kid and you're riding around with your parents, or if you don't remember that far back, when you're riding around with your kids and you drive past a field and you see a field full of cows, what's the reaction? Moo. Brown cows. We see cows everywhere. They're excited. They want to talk about it. They yell cow. Every time you drive by, they want to roll down the windows and yell at the cows. That's what we did. That's what my kids did. I might have relived that with them whenever, they were growing up, but But after a little while and being around and seeing these cows, the reaction goes away, doesn't it? There's no more reaction. As you just drive by and you see the cow, you don't say anything, you just keep going. So we're all here in this room. We're standing out. We're being different. We're not the brown cows, the black cows. We're purple cows, okay? And that's how I want to live my life and how I want to live my business. I want to be different and stand out. So I hang out with people that stand out. You guys know this guy. I think Adrian might still have this Speedo, but I want to hang out with people that are standing out. People that are standing out and building a brand for themselves, and people that you will constantly remember because of the way they live their life and their business. Bill's had a big impact on me and introduced me into creative financing and creative deal structuring. I don't know if you know the guy on the bottom here. This is Derek Dombeck. That's Jeff's partner. He might not want me to tell you that is his partner, but that is his partner. And if you look up here at the top, I don't know if this has a pointer, but this girl here in the middle, I don't know what's going through her mind, but I think she thinks he's crazy. But Jeff and Derek have a mastermind that I was a part of that was great. It was had a huge impact on me personally and in my business. And then we've got this other guy. So I met Adrian on a cruise a few years ago. I always cruise solo. My wife stays at home. She's not big into real estate seminars or seminars of any sort, so I end up traveling by myself and always looking for a roommate. So Adrian and I ended up linking together and rooming on the cruise together. And from the minute I met Adrian, he's always had a positive attitude, along with these other guys. They've always got a positive attitude and something positive to say, and they're just awesome to be around. But without looking at Adrian's backside, can anybody tell me what Adrian does? Without looking, what's he do? Buys mobile homes. Okay, he's created a brand for himself. Okay, he's carrying that everywhere. Everywhere you go, Adrian's known as the mobile home guy. The last seminar I went to in Atlanta, I had 3 people come up to me and say, so-and-so, I said I needed to come and talk to you. You do weird stuff. I'm like, well, man, thanks for the compliment. I love that I do weird stuff, but I'm starting to build that brand that I do weird stuff. So it took a lot of nerve for me to come up with this picture. I want to be like my mentors and the people that I'm around. So y'all bear with me. If you don't want to see this, go ahead and close your eyes, but I did it anyway. I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna get up here in a picture of a Speedo. But, all right. So we want to be the purple cow in our business, okay? Maybe next year. Maybe after I drop that other 100 and I might get in a Speedo. Nobody wants to see that. So when we're creating our short-term rental business or our business in general, we want a mission, a vision, and a vibe. We want to have a direction in which we're going, okay? So we come up with that mission. What is the purpose of our business? The vision, what do we want our vision to look like? What do we want our property to look like? And the vibe, how do we want our property to feel and look for our guest? Take your property. How many of you have short-term rentals? Okay. Think about your property and think of a magazine. Think of a magazine and think about the feel of your property and what magazine does your property fit into? Is it GQ, Vanity Fair, Travel, Dwell, Outdoor? That magazine is what's creating your vibe, and that is your target customer and the clientele that you want to be going after. So once you've figured out what your vibe is, what magazine you're fitting into, you've targeted who your clientele is, you can start reaching out and targeting those in your marketing efforts. Is your short-term rental standing out? Is it standing out for the right reasons? Are you on the news because you're having parties at your short-term rentals and you're attracting guests that are making noise all night long? So these are huge right here. The colors. Are you still painting your walls builder beige or your glorious grays, or what are you throwing in an accent wall, a bright blue wall in the middle of that gray with big artwork in the middle? We had a And the place I stayed here in Richmond had a big cow on the wall, painting on the wall. So it was fitting that was where I ended up. But is your decor colorful? Is it making your listing photos stand out? Amenities, those are huge. There's a hot tub search bar on the short-term rental platforms. So, if you don't have a hot tub and that's being searched, you've immediately been wiped out of those initial searches. Fire pits, seating areas, outdoor spaces, pizza ovens, yard games, grills, all those things are what will take you a little bit above. And that one thing I talked about earlier, doing that one thing, what is one thing that you can do to elevate your short-term rental above those that are around you? Make them stand out a little bit, make them be that purple cow. Social media. How many of you put your rentals on social media? Yeah. So you've got TikTok pages and Instagram pages that are branded towards your social media. That's important. Then reaching out to influencers that are in that space. You've got your vibe. You've got your brand. You want to reach out to influencers in your area or nationally that meet your vibe and brand. So we're in unique tiny homes, unique travel. So we reached out to anybody familiar with Levi Kelly or Journey Moore or Mike Will Travel. They're on the top 3 on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram for unique travel. So we have them come and stay. And they usually will stay either for a small fee or a night stay. And they'll provide content for you to put on your pages. They'll also post YouTube videos, TikTok videos. Our videos have been seen, I think last year it was over 1 million that we talked about. We're over 6 million views now. So the getting out there on the social media has been huge for our business. Instagram, we had a producer reach out because they saw our treehouse on Instagram. That led to a conversation about production and ended up shooting 2 episodes on A&E's Living Smaller production that was out this past year. So, just if we hadn't have been posting and getting those out there and working with the influencers, those things wouldn't have happened. The next thing that you need to do to work with influencers is get with local influencers that are true to your brand. And that could be elopement package, elopement specialist, the bougie picnics. Have y'all seen those? They come out and set up a picnic in your yard, and it's all the fine dining accessories that you would have. They set that up in your yard. So that's an experience that people are providing right now. Local hiking and local area attraction experts. They will come out and pick up guests at your locations and take them and do an experience hike or go visit a waterfall. So, work with those people, trade out, call and say, hey, we'll give you a night at our accommodation in exchange for a day at your hiking experience package. So we're letting them stay. They're taking us hiking. We're both sharing each other on our social media. And we've had just as many guests from those local experts with 50,000 Instagram followers than we have with the ones that are nationally that have 400,000 followers. So niche down and work with those people as well. What needs are you meeting for your guests? I want to be more than heads in beds. I want to be a quality stay. So our homes they're smaller homes, but we allow 2 guests. We're not trying to cram. Even with the tiny homes, I see people sleeping 4 with a loft and a fold-out couch. Man, have you tried to sleep 4 people in 160 square feet? It's miserable. So, be more than heads in beds. I see a lot of people putting a 2-bedroom house and then a fold-out couch in the living room and then a cot, a rollaway in the closet, and they want to sleep 8 people in this 2-bedroom house that's 700 square feet. That is not a good experience for your guests while they're there. Guest communications, this is a big one for me. Anybody ever received a text or email that they thought was hurtful, that might not have been meant to be that way? When you're writing and sending an email, How is that coming across? Take the time to sit back and read that. Every email I send, I take the time to write it. Sometimes I delete it, and then I'll write it again because I want to make sure that it's coming across the right way. You don't want it to be misinterpreted. I see so many hosts get really fired up over a text or a message that says, hey, this is going wrong. I have a problem with this. You know, they don't have the ability to call and talk to you a lot of times, so they're having to send that short message because they're only allotted so much, or they don't like texting and they're having to. So take into account what they're saying. Think about it from their point of view before you make a response. Here's a couple messages that we've gotten lately, and this is one of them's a check-in message, and this was a great one. So, hi, Michael. Thank you so much for booking with us. We're looking forward to welcoming you to Monteagle. We will be in contact closer to your arrival day with all the details you'll need for a smooth check-in and a wonderful stay. If you're on Instagram, give us a follow at terralodge.co for more property pics and updates. Thank you. We're excited to host you. Kind regards, the Terra Lodge team. Great message. Did you see what they did in there? On the short-term rental Airbnb platform, they've messaged and given their Instagram, and then they've also given us the Terra Lodge team, and they've also said Monteagle. So how hard is it to Google Monteagle Terra Lodge and figure out how to go to their direct site and maybe save a little money next time? Or, you know, that's our goal, is to drive our bookings and our future stays from the short-term rental platforms to our website, okay? We want direct bookings. We don't want to deal with Airbnb and VRBO because they can be yanked away as quick as they're on there. This next one, these are the ones that crawl all over me. But this is on a Facebook group I'm part of. It's a private Facebook group for short-term rentals. And they come there for verification and validation. And they've already made the reply. They've already said what they've said. And they're coming on here to say, how do you think I handled this situation? When they're, in essence, they're looking for validation to what they've said. So she says, this is the message from the guests. Just 3 of us, the potential guests, wife and mother-in-law. Cleaning fee seems kind of high. My wife always leaves everything cleaner than she found it. Only 2 nights. Can cleaning fee be waived or reduced? We've all had those messages. Everybody gets them. You know, it's how you respond, okay? Hi, Benjamin. We pride ourselves on giving cleaning services and our cleaning service a fair and living wage. I realize that fee may seem high to you, but 100% goes to them, and this is simply what they charge me. And for the amount of work that goes into turning over the house, they deserve every penny. Could have been left at that. But you see right above it, she declined the inquiry before she ever responded. She lost a 2-night stay and a potential future guest. You got to look at that value of that guest over the lifetime of your property. But then she goes on to say, it worries me to start off a reservation with a guest already complaining since we put so much energy into our home and emphasis on visitors' happiness. So I think it's best if we don't move forward. Come on, why would you do that? So, and the reaction from the other people in the group, so women, don't take this offensively, but this is a group primarily of women, but the response was, you go, girl, you show them, it's just like, man, that is not the response. So my response to the comment was, how about instead of responding this way, we respond with an educational piece on how, maybe this guest isn't familiar with turning over a short-term rental in 4 hours and what it takes to make that turn. Maybe the fee is high compared to the area that he's from. Maybe we just need to educate the guest a little bit on why it is what it is before we go and cancel a reservation or block the reservation and respond this way. That's not an appropriate response in my opinion. The other thing is replying to guest feedback. So, a guest leaves you a 4-star review and leaves a few comments that are public, and it's like, man, that really hurts you for a day or two, and you're like, so the best thing to do is type out a response, delete it, sit on it 24 hours, and then make your response with kindness and understanding of what they're going through and the way they perceived it. Because everybody that's looking at these reviews afterwards, when we're looking at a review online or somebody's reviews, what are we looking at? How they respond. Are you looking at the positive reviews or the negative ones? the negative ones. So if I don't care if they've got 100 5-stars. If they've got a 1-star, that's the one I'm going to. And then I want to see how they responded. So if it's, oh Lord, another Karen, entitled Karen, can't get their way, I don't want to deal with that host. I want to deal with a friendly and caring host. So just be careful in how we're responding. So why short-term rentals? For me, it's about guest interaction, hearing why they're coming to town, having those conversations with them, making suggestions to them on what they do while they're here, sending them to local businesses, creating that experience. Again, we're creating stays that are a little different than going to an apartment downtown, so we want to create an experience that's not only the property but the accommodation itself. It's allowed me to be creative again. Golly, I'm a creative person, and I'm always jotting, drawing, taking graph paper and drawing different designs. And I have so many projects that are drawn out on graph paper that'll probably never happen, but they're still in my head. So it's allowed me to do that because every short-term rental project and every short-term rental build we're doing is different. So I'm not just building a spec home with the same covered walls and the same covered floors and you know the routine. The ability to give back. So we've this has given us financial freedom, and we've taken and started a couple programs in local high schools. Adrian came up and spoke to one of the groups we're doing. We've started a group. It's an entrepreneurial track for the students at the high school that I graduated from. We've started a project called the Donut Project. The students are going through all the facets of starting a business, creating a business plan. They've gone in front of the planning and zoning department already and asked for variances. We've walked them through that. They're getting ready to start fundraising and just having a blast with it. So this is a project that'll be 100% student-owned and student-ran. We're also doing the School of Hard Knocks for upcoming seniors. So that'll be a program to where there'll be 20 students from the high schools in our county, and they'll come and learn the things that we wanted to learn before we graduated high school. So the impact on the community. I talked about recommending and sending our guests to local residents. We have a guest book, so this is something else you need to do. Get a guest book that asks what they're doing while they're in town. Direct them to answer the questions you're wanting to hear. So if you go back through and you're seeing a common theme, I need to target a little more to that niche. So it makes me feel good when I see, we came and we hiked at Cloudland Canyon, which is, it's the most visited state park in Georgia. And then we ate at Lookout Mountain Pizza or Canyon Grill, restaurants that are local and small, mom and pop owned. I like seeing the dollars go there instead of in another state or in Chattanooga. So I like seeing the money spent locally. And for me, it's so much more than money. It's all these things. It's the freedom that allows me to come here and then allows me to be back home for my daughter's band recital on Friday. What do you think about this place? Do we have these in our towns? You see these just about every town. These old motels, a lot of them have turned into weekly stays. Follow this Instagram, The Groovy Nomad. These are my friends, Ryan and Melissa Faircloth. We've been good friends for a long time, and this is, Ryan's a lot like me. He's community oriented. He wants to see his community changed. He drives past this motel every day. The Groovy Nomad. Yeah, Nomad. So he drove past this every day, and it's just like, something's got to change. He stayed on the owner for years, and the owner wouldn't sell. There was trees falling down, the grass was waist high, old campers parked in the yard. So they bought this place. Their why, mission, vision, vibe. Bring a positive change to our town with a little bit of culture and a twist on a classic retro feel. Wanted to create a place where people feel special, a place that feels groovy, a place that brings back memories of their childhood, and a place that makes memories for all to share. My time up already? Their vibe, quality stays intertwined with the classic age of atomic era. I didn't put a bunch of pictures of their rooms, but there's 11 rooms, and they're all decorated in a different 70s theme. They've got a jungle room for the Elvis. They've got the disco room. So this is the after of this project. And this has developed national attention and been shared. Has anybody seen this? Yeah, we got a few? Okay. So they're having guests come from all over to stay and go back and say, I want to do this in my hometown in a similar way. So they've created a positive change in their community. This is right as you're coming into town, and the first thing you see when you come into town from this direction. People stop on the side and so this is one of the rooms. And this is one of the first rooms, and they got wilder as he went. So this got shag carpet on the wall. So that's shag carpet. Got disco ball on the ceiling. And then that record there is Clarence Carter. I won't name the song, but it's Clarence Carter. So every room got wilder. The jungle room's really cool, but people are coming and requesting the rooms, and then they want to come back and try this room and this room. So then they're going to say, okay, we're going to develop a program to where if you stay in all 11 rooms, you get a week's stay, or you get a free t-shirt, or, incentivize them to come back and try every one. And that's the same way it's been with our container homes. They come stay in one and see the other two. They want to stay in them as well. What do you think about this pool area? It's pretty nice, right? I mean, we all like a swimming pool. But would you rather stay here or here? Which one? Yep. This one? It's the same pool. Okay. So this is a friend of mine, Wendy Doris. She's on Instagram at the mostest.host. She's a property manager, vacation rental manager in Phoenix, Scottsdale. She'll work with investors, and she works with property owners to do high-end property management. But she's only willing to work with them if they fit her vision and her vibe and her brand. Okay, so she'll meet with you, walk through it with you, and say, okay, we need to make these changes in order to come in line with our brand. If you're not willing to make those changes, she's not willing to take you on as a client. Okay, so if your property management company is not asking you to make those changes, you need to question your property management company. If they are asking you, you need to consider it and take their advice if they have that experience to back it up. I don't know if Alicia showed these yesterday, but this is Alicia's tiny home in Huntsville. Is that Huntsville, John? Or? Yeah. Okay. I think of all that as Huntsville, and then y'all have all your... Well, everybody knows Huntsville, but she's in Lacey Springs. Lacey Springs, okay. All right, so, I love everything about what she's done here. She's got vintage pieces all over. She's got a lot of color in her plates. She's got different colors popping everywhere, a little bit of rust over there, rusty modern. Got the tin on the ceiling is a rusty color. The sides are the galvanized color. You got wood accents on the back wall. You've got bright tin in the bathroom. Got good lighting, the good angle on the picture. So these are the things that make your listing stand out. The outdoor space. You can see it here on this, right at the front. That's a water feature. And then she's got artificial turf for the yard, so it's always going to be green. Easy to mow. You've got a fire pit there, seating area, grill, this own little private backyard. So, these are going to stand, these photos are what's making this listing stand out. These are the container homes that we built. That's the side of Lookout Mountain. Those are hanging on the brow. But we do the signage, okay? So brand your properties. We put the signage out there at the road to where the first thing our guests see is our website and our Instagrams. So while they're there, they're tagging us and keep putting us in their stories and their posts, and then they're also going to our website. And then people driving by are seeing the property and going to the website for a visit as well. So we get a lot of clicks on that website because of that sign.
Can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
Has anybody run into a sign ordinance where they can't put signs out and been able to find a way around that?
Yeah, so we haven't, where we put our properties, there's typically not a lot of zoning because, tiny homes are hard to get around in the first place. So we go outside of that area and look for properties to where we're not dealing with the zoning headaches that you would see inside of a bigger city. So we haven't had any issues with signs. There's obviously some properties we don't put signs at just because of the way they sit and where they are. But good question. Again, branding. We brand on our soap, shampoo, and conditioner bottles. We've got our logo and our website. We brand on our s'mores kits. There's always room for s'more fun. Follow us at Wonder Chat. Okay? So the little things. We offer charcuterie, mead, and wine upgrades. So little upgrades that you can sell, another experience for your customer. So they're coming and they can put together this, the charcuterie board comes in a box, and then they can lay it out and spend the time together. We also have pizza ovens at our properties, the little wood-fired pellet pizza ovens. So they make those pizzas. Coffee. You can't just have a coffee maker anymore. I don't drink coffee, so I don't know what it's like to be a coffee snob, but we have them. They have, are you a coffee snob? So do you want a French press? Do you want a Keurig? What do you want?
I travel with my own French press,
See.
and I'll take ground coffee too that I freshly ground before I make.
So that's what travelers are looking for. So we get guests that send those messages after we got a few of them and a few comments in the book saying, hey, it would be nice if you'd add a French press. So we've got French presses in all of our properties now. We interviewed 2 social media influencers recently and asked them what was the thing that they liked best out of the short-term rentals, or what was their must-have item. And these are simple items. A handwritten note from the host to the guest. The other one said salt and pepper. You wouldn't believe how many places we go to that don't have salt and pepper. So that's the things that these people are thinking. If you're going to do it right. Include these things. That picture doesn't show up well, but that's on the brow. You want to include photos in your listing that will put the guest in that situation and put them in that environment before they ever book. Give them the feel of being there without having to physically be there. We want to go from overlooked to being booked. So here's some pizzas that they did on the pizza ovens, and then they warmed them up over the fire to crisp the bottom a little bit. We had a guest send us those. So again, by having those Instagram channels, we're getting content and photos that we wouldn't have normally gotten. So just to reiterate, hot tubs, board games, kayaks, exercise equipment, putting greens, outdoor pizzas, outdoor grills, pizza ovens, yard games, bikes, and local fare. I love putting the local fare in there. We have local coffee. We have it branded to our tiny homes. We have the mead and the wine are local. The charcuterie boards are bought at local places. Also artwork. Think about getting with an artist that's local and having them set up consignment or art that's on display and let your guests know that, hey, these pieces can be purchased, and then the artist will replace them with a new piece. That's twofold. It's getting their art displayed and producing a little bit of income for them, and also keeping your artwork moving. That's it for me. That's my info if anybody wants to look me up.
Mike is one of those guys I could listen to a couple more hours. How about you guys? I'm not kidding, Mike. I'm serious, my friend.
Thank you for having me.
I want to keep it rolling. All right. You guys.
I cut about 16 slides because I couldn't get it all in. But we'll maybe next time.
Well, I'm so grateful for you. You guys have a question for Mike as Lisa mics up? Oh, here we go. All right, so you're not getting away yet, Mike Hicks. Here you go.
That was a great presentation, by the way. I'm curious to know, if you don't mind sharing, what would the starting process of something like that, how would that start? I mean, you find the land, utilities, start building. I mean, how does that all materialize?
I think that's what Lisa's going to dig into, isn't it? Okay. So yeah, I'll let her talk on that, and then we can both answer questions at the end if there are any.
Here we go.
For those of us who have short-term rentals that are more traditional single-family homes, like not on the side of a mountain, what did you do when you had those style of homes to make them stand out, and they're just normal houses?
Sure. Like I mentioned, accent walls. Probably what you're already doing, but you can do murals on your inside walls as well. That accent wall, that wall could be a mural. We're seeing in Orlando, the vacation rental market down there is insane, and they've got these big houses. I stayed in one when we went down with Jeff and Derek for the mastermind, and and this is elaborate for a normal house, but they had slides, and the bedrooms were designed with slides. The decks have slides coming off of them. Just Star Wars bedroom, Mario's bedrooms. I mean, it's just unlimited the things that they're coming up with to do. But I think the amenities, you know, even if you put that outdoor fire pit, the grills, the pizza ovens, any little thing that you can, you know, most of our guests don't use the pizza oven, but when they see it in the listing, they're like, oh my gosh, we can grill a pizza. And then, you know, and they get up there and try to cook a pizza, and it's impossible to get right. So we've created QR codes that give you a link to a YouTube video that tell you how to do it right.
Another question. All right, here we go. All right, somebody said they enjoyed seeing me run yesterday. Here we go.
So when you gave a presentation a couple years ago regarding, you know, starting out on your container homes, and you also have other things that you have made and created, right? Other experiences. Can you elaborate on those?
Okay, you're talking about the other tiny homes or the tree house? Yeah, so we do have a tree house that we finished, and we've got an A-frame that we're building. We're starting an A-frame village. We've got a VW bus that we're turning into a hippie hangout. I'm looking for the perfect water piece so we can park that van down by the river. And that's, yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. I haven't found that right property yet, but yeah, that's what we want to do with that. Okay.
Hi, how are you? I'm an interior designer. I work with developers, so we're always talking about maintenance and upkeep. And while I love the eclectic dishware that you showed in some of your photos, how do you get away with not doing just white plates? Do you have attic stock or back stock or just a logistics thing?
So that was Alicia's photo with the different color plates. You know, our plates are, we use a black plate, but it's a lot of times it's not so much the plate, but the other pieces beside it that are adding the pop of color, or the wall behind it that's adding the color. As a designer, I'm sure, you know, and that's another thing. Work with the designer when you're setting up your space. Where do you buy that stuff? I don't do that. My wife does that. So I'm not going to go there because I don't know. I build it and she fills it. You might have to come visit us. I know a guy that's got a tree house.
Hey, so I first want to say that you've really got my creative juices flowing.
Awesome.
I come from a small town in the middle of nowhere. It was like a ghost town, Gordonsville. Okay, well, it's up and coming. It used to be a ghost town. It's brought in a ton of people and tourism recently. And we have one of those abandoned motels that's been sitting there my entire adulthood. And I have so many connections with so many small businesses in the area, and I just want to thank you for inspiring an idea that I think could really transform our community. So thanks for bringing up all that great stuff.
That's what these events are for. And it's like, you know, I come up here with a topic that I want to talk about, but then after listening to all the other speakers, it's like, man, my mind's just going, and I want to touch on this and this and this and this. It's hard, yeah, but yeah, it's.
I have seen that motel because my daughter Chris has got stuff in Shenandoah, and it's like right. I mean, you remember driving by it? We've talked about it. Take action.
Yeah, go do it.